dissection. When we do the dissection after lunch,
Okay.
we'll go through it all in detail and you can...
Well, where are we going to do? Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do that after lunch. You just want to get some of this cleaned up and out of the way.
Actually, still recording.
It's alright.
We have a new tape measure. That it looks like the line below. So 25 and a half, 25.5 for total, and 19 for the body. We also record whether or not they have what's called antenna, so like a fleshy little bit above the eye. So supraorbital antenna. Not perfectly clear what purpose they serve, but could just be another distraction tactic. So to confuse a potential predator or a potential piece of prey. So yes, that one had antenna. Why? The smaller ones are the ones that we find with antenna. It's rare that we find a larger fish. There's like a certain point, and then after that size, we rarely find one that has the antenna. But according to some aquarists, some larger fish will grow them back eventually. So not exactly sure what those are for. All right, down. Take the fillet. There. Alright, now we come inside. So, first of all, this white part here that's now been pierced and deflated, it's kind of a rubbery texture. This is its swim bladder. So this is like the fish's internal BCD, how it controls its position in the water by inflating and deflating. So once that's pierced, there's no chance that the fish could survive. Alright, so I'm going to let you take a closer look at this in just a second and tell me what you think it is. A couple of clues. There are two of them. Two that are pretty similar in size and shape. Take a look up close.
Shrimp?
Kidneys.
Kidney.
Oh.
Look closely.
Is it an organ? Or
Has to be.
It is an organ, but
So,
look closely. Those are eggs.
Oh.
See all the individual, each little speck is an egg.
why do they have two?
I see that.
No, see all the tiny dots?
Yeah, but why do they have two of these? That is strange.
Because reproductive organs come in pairs.
Oh,
So,
oh, right. True.
like ovaries,
Yes.
ovaries,
That's
testicles,
all
you
the
have
two,
a pair.
yes. Right.
Did you see see all the individual eggs?
Yeah.
They're very tiny.
Small.
They're very tiny, you know.
I think out of the last, I do a summary every 3 months, so every quarter of the year I do a summary on what we found for lionfish. For the second quarter of this year, it was something like 3% of females did not have eggs.
Oh, that's good news.
No, 97% did.
Oh,
have
that's
eggs.
bad
Right.
news.
Right, so
That's bad news, yeah.
lionfish reproduce very quickly, so they can release a batch of eggs as soon as 4 days after they've released the last batch. In the event when they release the eggs, what happens is the female releases the eggs up into the water column. The males also come along at the same time, release the sperm up in. This is the stomach here. So you can see if I pull it back, it's connected up to the throat, to the mouth of the fish. So I'm going to try, without squishing it too much, to come up here and remove it so that we can find out what's inside. So I'm also going to be looking at our data for the last 6 months and see if we can find any trends in the time of day that they're eating. So do we find more stomachs full of food for the mornings that we catch fish or for the afternoons? Also the location, the sun. Yeah, you got it.
That's so cool.
So those are 2 different shrimp. You can see legs in the body. And the same here. We can't say that that's part of a different one, but we know for sure. So you can write 2 shrimp. You know those are 2 different bodies of shrimp.
That's the whole thing, all the contents.
That's everything that's inside. Their stomachs have the ability to stretch something like 30 times.
Okay.
So it's been reported that fish have been found inside up to half the length of the lionfish that ate that fish. The largest we found some squirrel fish that were 40% of the body length. Let me finish taking this off and I'll show you where the spines are. So lionfish are not poisonous, they're venomous. You guys know that I was going to ask, does anyone know the difference in a poison and a venom?
Poison if whole meat is poison.
Poison must be ingested.
Right.
It has to be ingested to affect you. Venom must be injected and not ingested. So lionfish is perfectly safe to eat. It's very tasty, and you guys will get a chance to try some while you're here. But the lionfish do have venomous spines. Now what the spines are for, they're not used to hunt. They're purely for defense. So we have 13 venomous spines on the dorsal edge of the lionfish. Spines, and they're covered in a fleshy sheath. Now the spine isn't perfectly round. It has kind of a groove in it. How you feel? So if you pass it around, careful of take the sharp end off. So if you kind of like run your fingernail or finger along it, you can feel there's a groove there. So the venom is in this groove, and what happens? If the spine pierces something, the fleshy sheath is pushed back, and the venom is allowed to go into whatever it is, the animal, fish, the person. So you have the tail that has no venomous spines at all. Catch up. We're just doing a little lionfish anatomy. Okay. So we have 13 venomous dorsal spines covered in a fleshy sheath, and there's a notch, like a ridge that you can feel along the spine. That's where the venom rests. So if the spine pierces another animal, the flesh, the sheath is pushed back and the venom can penetrate the person. So it's not like a hypodermic needle, it's not inside the spine, it's just resting in that little groove on the side. So nothing venomous or spiny in the tail. The tail is safe to touch. Also the pectoral fin, the one that it can fan out and really use to intimidate something. Gorgeous fish. Yep. No venomous spines in the pectoral fin at all either. However,
Scary.
however, you do have the anal fin down here on the bottom of the fish in front of the tail. There are 3 venomous spines. So there's one. There's the second one. And this is the third. So all 3 of those are venomous. Fish. Also the pelvic fin. So the ones on the belly of the fish. They're also very nice. They have 1 venomous spine in the front. They're well armed, but they're not for hunting. They don't help the fish to hunt.
So after they're dead,
Could you pass me that bucket down there, please?
no more, or is
What's
it
that?
after they're dead, the venom
The venom is still active.
is still active?
After they're dead. And it works in a couple of different ways. The toxin that composes the venom, it not only causes a pain signal to be sent to your brain, but it also has another kind of a beige color compared to the female gonads. If there weren't eggs visible, would still be a different shape and a slightly different color, a little more pinkish. So there's one. There should be another on the other side of the swim bladder. So there's the second. It also has kind of a flattened edge. It's not completely round around. Gonads. Alright, so that's definitely a fish. You can see the backbone runs along. Nice and white. That's part of a second fish. This is probably part of this one. Alright, we can say two for the record.
This is you guys catch the weight?
Yeah,
Like puppies.
mostly Simon. We just few.
Right your tail out. We'll call that one 33. This one's 33. And body 25.5. No antenna. A 9. Yeah, it's not.
See the jackknife fish?